Welcome back to Unapologetic and Free. We're sisters by blood.
And friends by choice. So today we have the honor of interviewing and talking to our little cousin. So I'm going to give you her bio. So originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, Shomari Harris is a player development coach at Wichita State University with a wealth of experience both on the court and on the sidelines. A former junior college All-American and 2017 graduate of Texas A&M Commerce. Shomari enjoyed a successful 6-year professional playing career before transitioning into coaching in 2023. After launching her coaching tenure at Kilgore College, she is now in her third year of coaching while concurrently pursuing a master's degree with an expected graduation in May of 2026.
Yay!
Welcome, Shomari
Welcome. And I
Harris.
just want to say, I did not know you were getting your master's. So that was
Me
news to
neither.
me. So good job. I'm done with school. Okay, go. Sorry.
Yeah, me getting my master's is like the whole reason I was here. I just happened to get a promotion within studying my master's. So, yep, almost done with that. But I appreciate you guys. That was a great intro. That sounds like a great young lady right there.
Yes, it is. She is. You are.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, you guys definitely covered my accolades up until this point, but ultimately, all of those things have come from just having a steady mindset and chasing my goals from when I was younger and just never getting sidetracked from the bigger picture and just always wanted more for myself year after year and kind of just never settling. And now I'm here and now I'm in a different chapter of my life trying to figure out what's next and what success looks like for me. But as far as my story and, where I feel like it starts, I really just feel like it starts from when I was a young kid, just growing up in Vegas and being raised by my mom. She did a great job of just keeping me active and playing sports. And a lot of people don't know I started off dancing, y'all know that. But people don't believe me. But, dancing helped a lot because I was performing in front of a lot of people. And I think it helped me with just being able to be in front of a lot of people and being able to deal with stage fright or, just not freezing up. So then when I played basketball, I love the bigger games with just a lot of people there and the noise and stuff. So shout out to Critical Condition because they raised me. Okay. But yeah, so just playing basketball since I was young, and then eventually I had to make a choice. My mom told me I needed to decide whether I wanted to dance or play basketball by the time I got to middle school because, we just couldn't do both. And I saw longevity within basketball. So I was like, I'm just going to stick with basketball. I feel like this can get me to college and travel. It just seemed like a more promising future. So I'm glad I did that. Carried over to middle school, played in high school, and I was just always kind of like an underdog, but people knew who I was though. Starting at Vegas, people knew I was an incoming freshman. I had the chance to play varsity. And that's kind of where it started, just like beating the odds. We were beating some schools that Vegas had never beat before. I was on varsity starting and just kind of getting my foot in the door in the basketball world in Vegas. And I just had a great time in high school. Like it was just so fun representing Vegas. Most of our family went there. And it really meant a lot to me to really just be a Wildcat. So that was great. But I think my challenges started to come once I had to transition to college because I wasn't really recruited that much when I was in high school. And it never really hit me until it was time to go to college. And, there's the National Signing Day. And that was actually the first day I realized I didn't have any scholarships or any offers because I wasn't signing. And it was just such a pivotal moment in my life because it just still stands out. And it's a day that I refer to now when I just think about how far I've come and how much I want to just chase my dreams. So, yeah, I was really emotional that day. I was walking home from school. I walked to Nanny's house. I was crying the whole way. I was just like, I'm like the best player in Vegas at the time. and I did not have a scholarship. And 2 plus 2 was just not equaling 4 for me. So I was just really heartbroken. Nanny and granddaddy were there, and they were just comforting me, and like they understood, but they didn't really understand. So I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to get to college, but I had the opportunity to play for a good travel team in Vegas. I was playing for Vegas Elite at the time. I was being coached by Brian Sitter for my last 2 years of high school. And I had to play AAU all up until like the deadline. So I played AAU up until the senior deadline, and that's where I gained multiple junior college offers. It was like right in the springtime. So I had an offer from College of Southern Idaho, Cowley, which is in Kansas, and then those are actually the only two. It wasn't until a couple weeks later that I got a call from Collin, which was the school that I ultimately ended up going to. They had a player there that was from Vegas, and they needed a point guard. And she was like, "Oh, like I know Shomari is good." And she called me like, "Hey, like, are you going off to college? Like, do you know where you're going?" Like, I'm playing for this school in Texas. And I honestly wanted to go like kind of like as far as possible. I didn't want to go to California or Arizona or Utah. Like those were the states that I was just like, no, because I just seen a lot of people going there and then they were coming back. So I was like, I want to go far, but like not too far. So Texas was like the perfect place for me. So yeah, I took a visit down there, and I just loved it. I mean, I loved driving through Dallas. It was a big city. I had took a visit to Cali in Kansas about 2 weeks before that, and it was just an immediate no for me. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was flat. It was empty, scary. It was just everything I didn't want, and I was just like sad because at this point it's like April, and I was just like, I just don't know what to do. But I got that call and I went down to Colin and I was like, yeah, I'm coming here. I committed while I was down there. I love the school. And that's pretty much when my life started changing for the better. I feel like when I went to college. So didn't really know much about junior college, but I got there and I took care of business. Like it was just great. I was hooping, I was getting buckets, I was making history like every game, every year. Became a junior college All-American, like you mentioned. And I was just achieving things that I didn't even know were achievable. I was top 3 finalist for Player of the Year my sophomore year. And a lot of people just were recruiting me. And so I had that feeling that I was missing out on in high school, like being recruited and talking to college coaches and them taking their time out to just come see me at practice. And I took some visits to schools. And so that was just going to junior college really just helped my confidence a lot. And it really just kind of not boosted me up, but it gave me the chance to get better and grow as a player because there were things that I needed to do to strengthen my game, maybe that I didn't have when I was in high school. Playing at that college level, it just helped me get stronger, faster. My shooting got better. So it was good. And then ultimately, I decided to go to A&M Commerce, but that actually wasn't my best offer coming out of junior college. And I know a lot of people were just wondering like why I decided to go there out of all the schools, because it was a Division II. I did have majority Division I offers. And that was the goal. And that's pretty much every JUCO kid's dream, to go D1 out of junior college. But, when I went down to Commerce to visit, it was just kind of like a small HBCU. It was a lot of like Black people. It was fun. They had the Greek lives. They had sports. Like they just had everything. And I found myself going down there often because it was only an hour away from my junior college. I was just like, oh, this is fun. Let me just go here. And I went there and it turned out to be what I didn't expect it to be. Like, I just didn't enjoy the basketball aspect of it. And we weren't really winning as much, not as much as I was used to winning. And that was just very hard for me to kind of deal with because I was used to being like the top 1 or 2 team in the conference. At my junior college, we went like 20-0 at home in 2 years. We had never lost a home game. So just things like that. And then I go to Commerce and like we were like 500. So we would win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and playing in the middle of the pack. And it was just not the best feeling. And, there were other factors that tied into my experience there. But overall, I was just like, like I'm not really happy. I really wanted to win another conference championship before I graduated college. And I was just like, I don't know if it can happen here. Like, I just didn't feel like it. So I just took a leap of faith and I decided to transfer. And that's when I went to Cal State East Bay. So that was probably, that was definitely another pivotal moment in my life, because it was just me being in a situation that I didn't really know what was going to come out of it. I was just really going off of my feelings. I knew I wasn't happy. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to go closer to home. I was getting heavily recruited by Cal State Bakersfield. And so when I went to commerce, I was like, maybe I could just get back on track and be in California and just be closer to home, be on the West Coast, and, just see if I could get some happiness out of that. And it worked. So I ended up going to East Bay and had a great year. I was really focused. That was like the first year of college where I wasn't like overly partying too much. I was like, I'm going to the gym, I'm not going out this weekend. It was only like three of us seniors on the team. So I had a lot of younger a lot of younger teammates who, they're getting their college experience and they're not really understanding why I'm just acting like boring and not excited. But I'm like, I was just in Texas for 3 years. Like, trust me, I had a ball. So, but that focus, it worked out because we won the conference tournament. And it was just an unexplainable year for it to turn out how I wanted it to. Like, I really didn't think I was going to actually go and win a ring, but we worked hard every day and it worked out. So that was great. And that was probably my best year of college, just in general, like being in the Bay, playing with my teammates, playing with a chip on our shoulder again, just something that I was always familiar with, just beating the odds. Like I said, I feel like that's been a role that I've been able to just fulfill easily. Proving people wrong just has always come natural for me. I don't know what it is. I feel like the more doubters and more hate I have, the more I'm able to perform and show up. So
Okay.
yeah, that's just like what's helped me, just not being too talked about, I would say, but informing people once they do find out who I am. So and that stems from, like I said, when I was in high school, just not being recruited, it really like fueled a fire in me. Like, I was heartbroken and I was like, no, I'm a college athlete. I'm going to get to college and, people are going to know about me. I didn't know that would be the journey, but I go back to that moment of how I felt walking home. I can still see it right now. Like, it was kind of a cloudy day walking past Lewis down tree line, and it just sticks in my head. So those are the days and moments that I reflect back on that keep me going. And then, yeah, like after that, I moved to Houston. I was training. I wanted to pursue going overseas. And that was probably just the best. Like, it was also hard for me getting picked up because people also was just like, okay, I was smaller. I was coming from a Division II, just the odds against me again, but I was just like, if you give me an opportunity, like, I'll show you. I was just trying to convince people, and everybody that did hire me, I didn't let them down. Like, my teams loved me. The countries I played for loved me. I got so much love and support when I was playing overseas, and I was having a good time. Like, it really was my dream.
Can you talk about what countries you went to?
Yeah, so my first year, I started in El Salvador. I did 2 years there. After that, I did a season in Greece, in Athens. After that, I went to Iran. I played 2 seasons in Iran. And then for my last year, I went to Germany. I was playing in Berlin, Germany.
And which one of those places would you say you never forget, had the best experience?
Well, I think for me, there's two different places for that answer. So, like,
Okay.
one I'll never forget is just probably going to Iran. That was just like something random. First of all, it was random. And but it was so different. Like, going over to the Middle East, I had to buy into the dress code. Y'all know I was wearing
Mhm.
hijab. And before I went, we all were kind of scared for me. Like, we don't know much about Iran except kind of like things we see on TV, which weren't
Mhm.
that good. But they turned out to be like the nicest people I ever been around. Like, they just loved me. They loved everything about me, my skin color, my hair, just I couldn't do no wrong. And then playing on the court, they would just thought I was literally like Michael Jordan in a girl form. Like, thought I was the best. So that experience, it taught me a lot. I went through a lot. The separation between men and women, their country did not
Mhm.
have like equality, and they didn't care that I was American or anything. Like I said, I was living by their rules. So that's always going to be a country that I'm glad I got the experience, because it wasn't just about going to play basketball. It really was like seeing a different perspective of other people's lives. And I got to make an impact for them. But I think the most fun I had would probably be when I went to Germany. And going there was like a breath of fresh air, because it was after I did 2 years in Iran, and living in Iran is just different. Like I said. So I went to Germany, and it was so Americanized. Like, it was so much English. They had a lot of different kinds of foods. I mean, Berlin is just so popular. Out of all the cities in Germany, it's the capital. So it had a lot of action. The basketball was fun. Me and my team was fun. Like, we were hooping. And I was just doing my thing. I was just walking around a lot. Like, I would go to the coffee shops, like chill a little bit. Like, it was just fun. So I think Germany was the best. And then I also got to go travel to some other places while I was in Germany, because everything is so close. So I went to Amsterdam. I got the chance to go to Czech Republic. So I was having a good time while I was over there.
So, talk to me about if there was any fear during those times of being at another country. Would you say you experienced any type of fear when you were going out and traveling?
For the most part, no. Like, I just don't think I'm a fearful person. That's
That's
really,
what's up.
Mhm.
I'm just not scared. Like, I will be going to walk and people are like more scared for me.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, I don't think anybody would really do anything to me in these places. I just felt like I was in worse places in my life. But there was a time when I was in El Salvador. There was like I don't know, I guess he was like homeless. They had a restaurant that I ate at like every day. And he was like sitting outside of it. Like, I was sitting on the porch. And we were like crossing paths, and he ended up like grabbing me. But in El Salvador, there were always security guards like outside of pretty much every establishment. So it wasn't like a long interaction. Like, they already were skeptical of him. They knew who I was and always wanted to make sure I was good. So they're already like alert and everything. So I was just like, and then they came and, just kind of got him out of there. But that was like the only time where I was like, okay, that was a little scary. Like, he was a big, hefty man. He wasn't small. But I don't know. I just would always just feel like I was good. Like, everywhere I was, I just felt safe.
Well, that's
So
exciting.
what I have a question. So what was the turning factor of you coming back to the United States, and how did you feel when you returned back to the United States?
Well, when I was in Germany, I got injured in the playoffs. And I landed on a girl's foot, and I tore some ligaments in my ankle, which is basically just a really, really bad ankle sprain. And when I came back home, the year before that, pretty much every summer, I was just really emotional about overseas, because I wasn't really playing in the places that I wanted to play. Like, I wanted to play at like the highest levels of wherever. But I had to go through these different places to prove to people, like I said, that I could do it. And everywhere I went was a new stepping stone of me showing that I could do it. But I'm also getting older, and more time is being invested. So I will be emotional about it. And so when I got injured and I was back in Houston in 2023, I wasn't healing as fast as I thought I would. And I remember I had like my worst emotional moment about overseas. And I was just like, I'm just always going through so much. And so I was just already thinking about taking a year off or so to just kind of get my happiness back and clear my mind. And so since my ankle wasn't healing, I wasn't really entertaining any teams that would hit me up because I knew I wasn't healthy enough. And then ironically, that's just when my boss from Kilgore called me. I had already knew her because she recruited me to go to Commerce. She was one of the assistant coaches there when I was in junior college. And so the plan was like for me to go to heal up and see if I like coaching. If I don't, go back overseas. If I do, then I'm already in the business. So that's just how that happened. Like I always said I would never be a coach. So it was just crazy. I was just like, oh no, like, like, cause I just know how much time it takes to be a coach. And I just never wanted to sacrifice my time. But I was like, let me call my mom. And I knew my mom was going to tell me to do it because she told me to do everything. And so it was a good situation. The benefits, it was a good situation. And I didn't have anything. I was just in Houston. So that's just kind of how that happened. Like it was just something that like just really came to me. I didn't make the decision to stop at all. Like I wanted to keep going. I wanted to play at least like 10 years. But when I was coaching in my first year, like I would say like the first month, I knew I was probably going to retire. Like the stability I had going to work every day was a feeling that I had never had. And I was like, this is what I wanted. Like my check was hidden. I didn't have to make no negotiations. Like I was just showing up. Nobody was going to replace me if I didn't score well that day or anything. So I was like, I'm probably just going to give it up. And I was crying like every day when I would think about that because I just didn't think that would be my reality. So it was hard, but I was just being real with myself. Like I wasn't able to sustain the stability that I was seeking while being a basketball player. The money, the consistency, it just was going to end no matter what. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it now instead of pushing out like 4 or 5 more years. So it was sad, but it worked out because now I'm almost 4 years into being a coach. And so I'm like, well, if I did 6 years overseas, if I could do like 6 years coaching, like I can get my money up and just make an impact and still be really involved. And then I just got to the point where I enjoy being accessible. Like being in the States has allowed me to see my family more often and my friends. And that stuff really has just meant so much to me because I was just really far away for a long time. And I just never really like thought about it that much. I was just going and going. But as I got older, it was mattering to me like how much I was able to see my family and seeing my brothers and my sisters grow up and stuff. I was missing like every holiday, funerals, birthdays, I just would miss everything. And it started to kind of have an effect on me, especially when I was like emotional. Like I could never just go lean on somebody or go pull up on them and, just deal with it like that. Like I would just have to cry and wait 5 more months till I went home. So, it all happened in a crazy way, but I think it happened how it was supposed to have happened.
So what's next?
Well, right now I'm just on this coaching train. I think this is what God wants me to do. Like even when I left Kilgore, I decided like I just didn't want to be there. Like I said, my happiness is something that's never up for debate. And I wasn't really happy. So I left. And then my boss there actually was one of the people that they contacted about like if they knew any grad assistants that would be interested. And me and her were so cool. Like even though I left, she still was somebody in my corner and wanted to see me do great. And she was going to help me out. So they reached out to her and my coach from Colin that I played for. And they both hit me up at the same time. Like, would you be interested to go to, Wichita State? And I'm like, Wichita State? Like, yes. Like, what? Like, um, So like I said, it just was like 2 years in a row where these calls were coming to me. And I'm like, well, I said I would never do it, but these are like hard things to turn down. Like it's getting
Hmm.
better now. Like Wichita State, I went to Wichita from junior college, which was a big jump. Usually it takes people a couple years before they can get to a D1 level when they're at like a JUCO or Division 2. So I was just like, oh yeah, like, and so now that my foot is in the door here, I was like, I'm going to give myself a 5 to 7 year gap with coaching because I still feel like there are other things that I want to do, but being a coach, it has a lot of pros that I do enjoy. One being the money that I could possibly reach.
That's
I'm
always good.
curious what I can get, or just the school that I can work for. It's just so many universities out there. And apparently I'm a good candidate for these situations. Just having that former professional experience, being junior college, being
Yeah.
a college, playing D2. Like I've seen every level of basketball and
Yeah.
it's attractive for coaches and stuff. So I'm gonna give it a couple more years, but since I've been here studying my master's, I'm getting it in sport management. I've really taken an interest in being an agent. So that's something that I'm trying to find more out about. I'm trying to network more because I just love the game. I love scouting. I feel like I have a great eye for the game. My first year at Kilgore, that was something that I enjoyed the most, like going out to recruit and just watching girls hoop. And, I'm able to just give them advice too because I was in their shoes at one point.
Right.
And I feel like that's where I thrive, just like giving them this information because I was, the kid that I didn't have anybody to ask. Like I was going to do something that none of us had ever did. So I was
Hmm.
Right.
just learning along the way. And like I didn't have many people to reach out to. I was just figuring out the rules. Now that I got the blueprint, I'm like, I can give it back. And that's what I love to do, like just give back and help them. Cause I'm like, y'all shouldn't have to struggle the way I was struggling. I was struggling,
That's
just
real.
trying to figure it out. And I did figure it out, but it was
Yeah.
hard, and so yeah, I just love seeing hoopers. Like when we're in the game, I'm like looking at the other team's players, like, oh, that was like a tough move. Like, like I'm real interested in them. So I realized, I probably just want to help more players and not just my players. So yeah, that's something that I've been like entertaining and it might happen before I think, but I'm just kind of like keeping my options open right now. I could keep coaching. Somebody might call me and have a spot for me in an agency. I don't know, but I'm just trying to be prepared for like another random phone call that I'll get.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I saw something on the internet not too long ago that had something to do with the WNBA type thing
Oh, with me.
with you.
Yes.
So I did an internship with the NBA. And it started in September and it actually just ended about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it was like a 5 month internship that I had got selected for out of like 8,000 people. It was like by the grace of God, honestly.
Yay.
It was so
Are you able to talk about what you did there?
Yeah, so it's called Future Basketball Stars of Operations. Ours was virtual. It's actually a virtual internship, but you apply. So they have an opening for like a week to apply. I would say in like August, you submit your resume, and pretty much they just choose about 80 people out of the 8,000 that I told you who applied, and made the best man win. And so I had got selected to do my interview and I was like, okay, like I was surprised. And then I didn't think I did well on the interview, first of all. And I was just like, oh, like I was stuttering. The time was going out fast. I talked slow. Like I didn't do well. I just gave it up. And then, yeah, I seen that I got an email. It was like midnight one night. I'm looking in my emails for an order confirmation of some clothes. Like, I'm not bothered by this. And I seen I had got like the congratulations email. And I was just like so shocked. Like I could not believe it. But so like I said, it's virtual, and every week we would meet on Wednesday and we would have different topics. And each topic they would bring in different people that work for the NBA, or some people that were in this internship who still work for the NBA, and they would like pretty much be our guest speaker. So like some of the topics would be things like referee operations, on court and off court player development, salary cap. Um, um, it was so many, like there was probably like 12 different topics, because like I said, it was like 5 months. And within that, we also had to do one individual project, and then we did one group project. And at the end, they were selecting the top 10 people of the internship to work All-Star Weekend and the draft combine. So I didn't get chosen to be top 10, which was totally fine. Because I was able to network with all these people. There are still people that are going to be in our corner. I have this on my resume also, which
Mm-hmm.
we love a resume builder, you know.
That's right.
So yeah, and I just got to meet people who work at the New York office, and you know, they became my mentors. So it was just like a firsthand to see what goes on behind the scenes of like NBA operations. And we just learned about that each week and just took tips. They talked to us about interviewing, being a professional, you know, what that looks like, networking, just pretty much all the stuff of being a professional, but like at the NBA level. So that's what that was.
I do have a question. So, where does love fall into this story?
Oh, girl, I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay. No, honestly, I mean, I am busy, and I've been very like I've moved around a lot. Like I just told y'all, from 2013 to now, I done lived plenty of different states and countries, you know. So um, I had a relationship in college. It didn't end well, and it really took a toll on me. After that, it was really hard for me to kind of like bounce back. So I was just like strictly focusing on my career being overseas. And when I was overseas, being in a relationship, if you're like playing overseas, it's like you either married or you just don't got have anything, because you're just so far away. You're gone so long. You don't know when you're coming back sometimes, you know, things like that. So it was a relationship at that time, definitely wasn't something that I seen for myself. But since I've been coaching, is something more that I try to entertain, because like I'm a little more available. Like I still meet people who are probably like away in different places and stuff, but I'm just more open. I just hadn't been open to it in a while. Like I'm just 100% into being the best basketball player I could be. Like I just didn't have time. I also wasn't really healed, you know. I was like a little broken still. But it is hard to date when you're a basketball coach. I will say that. Like we're just busy, honestly. And if you're not like in a city where, you know, bachelors are just walking around the place, like it's hard to just see people, you know, like I live in Wichita, like no shade to the Wichita people, but like I don't think my husband's here. So yeah, like that's something that like I'm trying to find for myself now too. But like I said, I just hadn't prioritized it for so long. Honestly, I've been single for 10 years. This year is 11 years that since I've been in a relationship. And it's crazy to say it out loud, because this wasn't my plan at all. Like I didn't think it was going to get this far. But like, you know, I did have the boyfriend in high school, like all of my years. And then I went to college and had a boyfriend. And so when that ended, it was just kind of like I could finally just focus on myself. And that's just when I just started like becoming like who I am now. So now I feel like full. I know who I am. Like I know what I want in a relationship. And I feel like that's been like the biggest thing. Like I kind of just been like unsure. But now I'm like, no, I have my non-negotiables,
That's good.
hopefully it happens though, like, cause I want a man, like, I would love a man. My mama would love me to have a man too. Like, oh my God, like they asking me all the time. So, but I don't know, maybe in like the next year or something, I might have a different conversation about that. But it's
Good.
it's
Well, at least you're
hard.
open to it.
At least you open, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Like, I mean, it's just like nowadays dating, people just don't have intention a lot of times. They're just probably not having much going on for themselves also. And I don't like that either. Like you got to be doing something because I'm doing something.
That's right.
Just trying to make the, what's it called? Just take all the bad out of the circle, and try to narrow down the list sometime. But it's hard because it's not a lot out there. I know it's some, but it's not a lot. And Instagram has changed the way of dating nowadays too. Like it's hard, but I'm not going to like generalize it and say like there's no good man out there. Like there's
Right.
out there. I know it because I have homeboys and stuff. But it definitely just depends on like who you are and what you got going on. Like I said, being a college coach, like we're probably going to start out long distance from the jump, and that might not be for everybody.
That's right.
So
That's
we'll
right.
see. I hope that part of my life get fixed real soon because I'll
So,
get lonely.
so where would Shamari like to see Shamari in 5 years?
Whew. I think about my future so much. It's probably unhealthy. But honestly, like in 5 years, if I could just be doing something, like I said, the agency, right? Like something that allows me to travel a little more and maneuver. I really want my name to be more of like a household name. I want people to know who I am because of what I do
Mhm.
and be successful at what I do, whether that is agency or a coach. I think just staying close to the game is what works for me. I find the joy in basketball. It's easy to do this for a living, even though it is like a lot of hours and stuff. But I've had plenty other jobs when I was playing overseas and stuff, and nothing compares to being a coach and just being a part of basketball. So I think just staying in sports is my plan, but I want to see myself more secure in what I'm doing and being more confident. And like I said, like people know who I am because I've been doing this and I've made a great name for myself. So I feel like it's going to happen. I
Yeah.
get like a lot of um like people can recognize me just working at Wichita State now, even though I'm like a support staff, and I don't really think much of it, but people tell me that. And so I'm like, okay, like if I just stay in the game, because the game is the game, like it's not going anywhere, it's not getting any smaller. So if you can stay around and show some like sustainability, like you're just going to become like a household name. And I think that would be great. Like I said, whether it's like being a coach or an agent, like I want my impact to be like bigger. So that's my plan. And I don't know, whatever that looks like, because there's so many like windows in basketball and in sports in general. After doing the internship, I've become a lot more open to things outside of being a coach. There's a lot of roles in just like setting up a basketball game. So I don't know, like player development is my thing, my main thing. So if I can, start being a player development coach for like a professional team or something, like that would be great. Or like a top college, like just somewhere where people are like more serious about what we're doing. That would be great. But yeah, I don't know. The way, like I told y'all, those two phone calls, it just changed my life. At this point, I just stopped planning. I'm like, God got it, like
That's
he's
right.
for me that I just swore up and down I would never be a coach. Like way before I even got into coaching, like when I was in college. But I just start like trusting my faith and just growing and just accepting like it's really not about what I have planned.
That's right.
The best things that's happened to me were the things that were unplanned and
Ooh, that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
they just were things that came up to me. So that's kind of where I'm at with it too. Like whatever God has in store for me, but it's going to be something big though. I don't see myself just kind of like being in the shadows anymore.
So your passion and the way that you speak about the game and your love for the game, have you ever thought about being a sports analyst?
Yes, all the time. I was just telling my friend that the other day because our podcast, right? And I went to school for journalism. I've always been good at writing. I've always done well with like public speaking. I love the camera. I feel like I have a personality, like, just all those traits, right? And I was just like, I just don't want my life to pass and I never get that like analyst opportunity, because I did that in college and that was something I always was interested in. And so we talked about that, and I'm like, I need to figure out how I can get to the camera, or just because we have a guy that travels with us. He does our radio, and he's our analyst for every game that we do. And clearly, like he went to school and did all the right steps of that. But there's like former coaches or former players who just become analysts.
Hmm.
They're done with that part. So it's a lot of ways that I probably could get in, but I've been trying to figure out what's my way,
That's
because
right.
I do love me some basketball, like men's, women's, high school kids. Like I can just watch it and I'm going to talk about it. It's really hard for me to watch a game and not say anything. Like I just, whether even if it's reactions, like I get excited about it. But yeah, I was just telling my friend that, and I was like, she was like, bro, I always thought that was something you were going to do. You were always good at, just the talking and doing the interviews. I was doing interviews around campus when I was at Commerce and stuff. So yeah, like honestly, that's something I really, really do want to do because I want to use my personality more. I feel like as a coach, unless you're the head coach, like you have an impact for sure within your job and our school every day, but when we go out now to the game or wherever we are, nobody's checking for the assistant coaches. Like you're not like important at all, and not like saying like, oh, I have to be the face. I just know I have a lot to offer when it comes
Hmm.
to personality, like I said. And I'm trying to find my way on how to be out there more, because I feel like more people should like know me. And I want to know more people.
You come from a family with a lot of personality.
Yeah, like we're just good. Like everybody
Right.
loves us. I don't think any like because I always say that about my mom. Like when I'm telling people and my friends, like all my friends love my mom, and then I'm like, my grandma. Like when people meet them, everybody loves them, and I'm like, yeah, like my family. I don't really know anybody in my family who people don't like. We just got
I
that,
mean,
you know. So yeah,
so
that's funny. I hope like I would love that. I would love that.
I do have a question for you. What do you say to the young lady or the young girl who's where you were when you were in first starting out in high school? Like you said, you didn't have a lot of people around you. What do you say to that girl today?
I would say just focus and trust your future. Like just understand that it's going to happen for you. It probably would be easier if you could just cancel out distractions, partying, and it's important to enjoy your life and wherever you are, but some things are going to be there forever and some things aren't. And the more you focus on you and your craft and what's important to you, the easier or quicker you can get to the things that you want to get to. Like some things are just not worth keeping around, whether it's things or people, So I would just say like lock in seriously because when I was in high school, like I enjoyed myself and my mom wanted me to enjoy myself, like I don't have any regrets, but looking back on it, there are things I could have went without. I didn't have to go to every party, or the things my mom probably didn't want me to do. I probably shouldn't have done that. And I'm doing it because I feel like I'm going to miss something. As a kid, we feel like we're missing out, and you're really not, because you're going to go to college, you're going to be an adult. And even when you get into professional rooms, people are doing those things that you thought you were going to miss out on. So
That's
I
real.
would say just focus, like just focus. If it's what you want to do, focus, and then just make sure you're surrounded by people who support you and are pouring into you. Like, just stay away from people who don't see it or don't believe in you, because there are going to be people who don't see the things that you see for yourself. They're not going to help you. Some people probably will see it and not going to help you because they just don't want you to be successful.
Mm.
That's something hard to swallow and deal with. So stay around those people that are always excited to see you, always excited to talk to you, that support you, showing up for you. Like, if you're playing games, like, they're at the games. I tell people all the time, like, the support I got from my family coming up when I was in high school and stuff, like, it was just always so important to me. Like, you guys had helped me out more than, like, you think, and more than I ever said. But seeing people cheer for me kept me going. And then when I was in college, and the text messages, the Facebook posts, like, all that, like, it means so much, because I have people that I'm doing this for, and people that really know who I am and why I'm doing it. And those are the ones that matter. So, like, keep the circle small and tight, and just, like, have faith, like, create that relationship with God and strengthen it. Once I started doing that, like, I just stopped being so easily distracted, because I knew I had a plan, and God was going to make it happen for me.
Amen.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, where can they find you? So, again, we heard you mention a podcast, but we definitely want to hear more about that and how people can find that podcast.
Well, I'm on every social site. Facebook is just my name, Shomari Harris. Twitter and Instagram are both Shomari, SHUHHHMARI _. And then my podcast, my best friend and I just created recently. It's called Clear to Talk. Both of us play basketball. We love the game. Like I said, we love to talk, and we just figured, like, let's just start bringing our conversation online and having, like, open dialogue with people, because we're just talking about the same things that other people are talking about. And we actually played. I went pro. I'm coaching. Like, we got the credentials. She was a Division I athlete, so you can find that on TikTok, cleared, CLEARED, the number 2, and then talk, TALK. You also can find that on YouTube, where we post our full videos and our full podcast on YouTube. So, but if you just type my name, my full name, Shomari Harris, and anything, like, it'll pop up.
So I
Yay.
hear
Well,
you've Googled, I mean, you've Googled yourself to know that your name pop up.
I've been Googled by some people that have maybe told me some stuff coming up. I may Google myself every once or 2 months to see some stuff is still out there, what's new out there. Sometimes I might Google myself to put myself in a better mood. I don't know.
That's good. Any final thoughts? Any last minute things you want to say or share with our listeners?
Well, first, I appreciate y'all for having me on here. I love y'all. Like, y'all been my cousins forever. And I'm proud of y'all also. Like, family is really important to me. The older I get, the more I just try to make sure, like, we all are intact, because it really is what's most important. And you realize how important family is, especially when you begin to lose friends and just kind of cancel out all the other stuff and people who weren't really for you. So I appreciate y'all, and I love that y'all are doing this, and I love that y'all brought me on here. Y'all making me feel like I'm somebody. So
You are.
You are somebody.
but just to the people, just if I could be anything, like, let me be inspiration. I'm open to talking to anybody. I have a open door policy. Not that I'm running any business, but just DMing me, texting me, messaging me. Like I always talk to people, especially kids. I love the kids or just the youth in general. And you just have to go after it, like whatever it is like that you want, like you just have to do it, and you just have to have a mindset, a strong mindset. It can't be one foot in, one foot out. Like if you say you want to do something, just do it, and find out what it's going to take to do it, and then just do it, because it's really that simple. You might have to take some sacrifices, make sacrifices, and be without certain things for a period of time. But I think one of the best things about myself is the fact that I did chase my dream of like playing college basketball, and especially playing overseas, because as of right now, I don't really have any regrets in my life. And I feel good about that. So, I'm always pro chase your dreams. And also, it's never too late. Like, you can start at any time. If you still breathing, it's important that you capitalize off the time that we blessed with. People are not fortunate enough to see the next day. So just go get it, and keep growing. I love growth. I'm a part of growth. Like, just go. Keep being something. Keep doing what you want to do. Keep being better. Prioritize health is most important to me also, because we got to sustain, like we got to be good, and with that, it's not too late.
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on yourself, and put yourself first. Love yourself. These are things that I do and things that help me, and just I feel like things that more people should do. Self-care and loving yourself is very important to anything that you want to do. You can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure you're good, and then just go after everything you want to go.
All right. Well, thank you for that spectacular ending.
Yes. And again, you don't know the person that's sitting next to you's story. Again, we knew you before you knew us, but yet we didn't know your story. So again, we're grateful that you said yes. We never take it lightly when we ask people to come on to share your story. But again, I think you're amazing. You inspire me. And again, I'm going to forever be your cheerleader.
Yay.
I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.